Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for today, the 4th of March. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. And yesterday, congrats to our own WTF bro for taking down the mini max. Very, very nice. Nurkic taking it down. He says it's second or third time this year it's taken down for him. So hey, congrats and keep playing. Keep playing that play, especially with Booker out. I don't understand 11% Nurkic. That was ridiculous. I don't MME on the weekends because, well, actually, this was a 10K minimax. So that wasn't nuked, really. That's how that normally is, huh? Have to keep an eye out on that because normally they nuke the competitions I normally play in. So if they're nuking the four, I don't give them other money. I'm not like in the business of making sure DraftKings remains whole. I'm in the business of reading the signs, and the signs say go play some golf. So I had fun this weekend. Also, I'm gonna go play some golf later today. I'm having fun. My wife's off work right now, so we're having vacation time essentially. At least every preschool. Thus, an early video, which means this is before we get any shoot around news. So I have to say, make sure you're up on you're in either my Discord, somebody else's Discord. You have somewhere where you're getting late news because that's going to be the slate today. You're going to be reading tea leaves and stuff. The other part of the slate today is all of the blowouts. Not really, we got one competitive game today. It would not, I mean, okay, Clippers, Milwaukee, fine, that's also competitive. But everywhere else, we've got 6, 7 point lines. I don't really understand what's going on with Washington and Utah being a close game. Isn't Utah way better than Washington? I don't, is somebody out for Utah? No, right? I mean, oh yeah, wait, somebody is out. Yeah, okay. Well, Laurie Markkinen is out. All right. So I had missed some pretty important news there. So yeah, that makes sense. Wow. Okay. So that game is very interesting now. And let's look at Utah with Laurie out right quick. I don't have time to do too much of this, but that's kind of interesting. He hasn't missed that many games, and we'll do whole games. Oh yeah, that of course that's why one of my core plays is Bryce Sensabaugh. And you've got to love it when you're telling everyone in the world, time to play Bryce Sensabaugh. Yes, he is going to be 60% owned today. Yeah, that's probably right. You should probably also do that. Do I really love saying it? No. Is it going to show up here? No, because he's not been on the team for a single game with this amount of opportunity. Full game. So if I undo full games, we'll get to see Sensabaugh on here, I think. Yeah, so we get not, yeah, we have a pretty poor sample of Sensabaugh still, but enough that we could think about lowering him a little bit. How many minutes? So right now, SaberSim's giving Sensabaugh a lot of minutes. But let's go back to full games only to get the rest of the team. Although this is the first time it's been this team, you know what I mean? So like we got Fontecchio on here. He's gone. He's one of the major producers. Kessler's not getting the minutes. So Sexton 40.5 at least. I don't think we have him. Yeah. So like Sexton, we're just not getting enough Sexton right now. He's got to be core. There's no way Sexton isn't core. There's no way. I think John Collins at 35. Wow. There's just what in the world? Who's going to score points for this team? You got to have at least 35 on Keyonte. I can't really raise John Collins any further. Well, what's Clarkson at? Is Clarkson? Wow, can't even raise Clarkson, huh? Well, I don't love all this. I don't love all this. Now, so we are getting to Sensabaugh, assuming they go the exact same rotation, right? And last game I said I played 15% Yurtseven on Friday. So we don't have very many screenshots to show from Friday. I apologize. Anytime I tout somebody who does not play, I don't love it. Although I have to say, when Highsmith won me all that money, 50-50 chance he DNP'd, right? Like all season long had been DNPing lots of games. So it's not an accident that I'm telling you, and I'm going to myself sometimes play people who sometimes DNP. That's fine. Feature not bug. Okay, but now we have one game with this rotation where Sensabaugh was playing over Yurtseven in this particular rotation. So I think they would do that again. I don't think there's any backup matchup considerations that would force Utah to do otherwise. What do we got? Backup Muscat. Who's the backup now? Bagley. And, you're not going to go changing your rotation for Washington's rotation. But this game's way interesting now that I know that all of the good players on Utah are pretty much missing because, a ton of value here. Now, this is the thing. Wow, yeah. So do we see any yurts of him? I don't know. I mean, I don't I don't know that we see this much Yurtseven. If we do, he's definitely in play. But what we got 4, 8. 9. They got him as the backup 5 to Collins when the last game I was counting on that, and that did not happen. So, you know, take that for what you will. It's possible that both Sensabaugh and Hendricks are better plays, and Yurtsevin is cut from the rotation entirely. That's one option here. Currently, I think I'm going to leave it how they have it, and maybe a smidge of Yurtsevin gets in there again, because I just said, like, yeah, 15% last slate. So now it would be what, 7.5%? Because that's called Laplace's rule. And basically, as you have more observations in an area where you have no expectation, 1/n+2 or n+1 or something is your benchmark value for what, like, assuming that you've lived n days with the sun coming up, what's your expectation that the sun should come up tomorrow? Okay. Without knowing the world, right? Obviously, with knowing the world, probability 1 minus catastrophe. Okay. So now we've talked about physical models of reality for a sec. Let me talk about the basketball slate, which you've come here to hear about. So yeah, the whole game is about these blowouts. So for me, I do not think that Portland and Minnesota should be a 14-point line. I think it should be like a 20-point line. I think there's absolutely nobody's missing. Like with Minnesota, everybody's healthy. Anthony Edwards, Cat, Gobert, nobody is questionable. I mean, this is the team where more than any other team, I do expect somebody could sit without being questionable. But if you got a big three in, I mean, I'm just going to bash on them. Portland has no chance. And so I'm not going to play any of the guys from Portland who would give them a chance because in 25 lineups, I don't think there's a 4% chance they keep it close. If you do think there's a 4% chance you keep it close, you can find some value maybe with Simons, but I mean, he's 5% owned. So I don't know, 4% chance. There's not much meat on the bone. Chris Murray, 9%, maybe gets extended in a close game, playing defense, get some stocks. I don't know. I just kind of gross. So for me, this game is all about the blowout pieces. So it happened last game. These are the guys again. This team trusts these guys. They're playing massive minutes, not just in blowouts. Hagans and Banton. Hagans and Banton are my guys today from this game, from this team, and from the last slate. They completely won me the slate. I mean, Hagans more than Banton. Banton lost me the top prize, I should say. So I'm going back to the place where the minutes were. This was the right rotation. I completely got this right, and I think it's going to be the same again in not even in a blowout. Like they lost a player, right? Like Grant. Grant is doubtful, and Brogdon's already out. Scoot's out. Shaden Sharp. They just don't have who's going to run the point. Hagans and Banton, right? Like that's it. Is that it? I mean, like that's might be the whole game. It. Oh, Simons, right? The 20 minutes of competitive game, it will be Simons. The remaining 28 minutes of game, it will be split between Banton and Hagans. And also, I think, yeah, Banton's the backup shooting guard. So who's the starting shooting guard? I mean, like, is it Banton? What we got starting Simons, Ayton. Uh, they did a spot start for Duop Reith. Then they like to start Chris Murray or Kamara. And I think it's got to be one of Higgins and Banton, right? I mean, like, I think you probably go like Banton starting. I don't know. I hope he doesn't in the. Yeah, it's not even the first game. Okay, I hope he does start after lock. So one way or another, the number of minutes these guys get, they're very assertive on offense. I don't understand why. They don't seem to have a particularly valuable. I mean, okay, Banton can slash and get to the hoop and get free throws and occasionally, make that drive. And Hagans can hit these threes and dish it. So he's kind of like a Goodwin comp. Banton more of like a, I don't know, Westbrook comp. But both of them, when they get minutes, assertive, points per minute. The same thing with Walker, by the way. I mean, it's just, and he is playing enough in blowouts to be valuable. So assuming we get the same rotations, that's what we're doing with Portland. Now for Memphis. Memphis and Brooklyn, also a blowout. However, not as certain. So actually, now that I've thought about Brooklyn's not very good. Memphis is also not very good, but like better. There's a smaller gap here. It definitely makes more sense to play guys like Santi Aldama, Vince. Those guys could definitely get there. I'm going to put them back in the pool for like a 10% bop. Just because, like, yeah, I think there is a 10% chance Memphis gets there against Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not like, oh, I'm not like looking at the big three of Brooklyn and being like, oh, wow, how do you get past McCall Bridges and Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson? They're fine, but like, what? Come on, let's get real. Brooklyn's nothing. Memphis also nothing, but we got nothings together here. All right. So besides this game, All right, let's go from the top, see if I miss anything in terms of big value. Oh, besides this game, aka I've hashed it to exclusively this game. 100% Colin Sexton seems like a lot. Let's get to core Colin Sexton's fine. Don't need to go past that. Yep, that's fine. So core going to be Kuzma, Sensabaugh, and Sexton. Next layer is kind of this Drummond and Vooch and LeBron. I don't like any of that for as much as we have it, so I'm going to go down to 30%. I don't know what this must be assuming Drummond starts. Why would we do that? Drummond against the Kings? I don't think so. Against Chris Murray? I don't know. So whether he starts or not, the important thing, right? He didn't start last game. Let me show you. So this is the important thing from last game. It's not whether he starts or not necessarily. Last game I was faked out by that. If I remember correctly, he did not start. Correct. But oh, and he only played 14 minutes. I thought I remembered him playing. Yeah, here it is in the fourth quarter. This was kind of big. I wish it had happened more for me to be making a big point out of it. But I definitely remember in the fourth quarter here for how long they were running Vooch and Drummond alongside each other against the Pelicans, who were not going two bigs, right? So that was against Nance and Valanciunas. They went two bigs. Anyway, so these minutes here are why Drummond is getting in play today, because all of his second half minutes were alongside Vooch in the last game. Wait, oh, I'm misreading that. I was looking at the Caruso line. Never mind. He didn't play alongside Vooch at all. I don't know what this is. We have to figure out what this expectation is for Drummond. I don't think you can have any Drummond today unless somebody's missing from the rotation that I'm like I mean, Vooch is in. So what are we doing? You know, I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is somebody missing? Like a lot of is somebody hurt that I'm forgetting about? No, like Dalen Terry. It's a tight rotation, I guess, but it's a tight rotation where he's not going to play that many minutes. So I don't know what we got projected for 24, 20, 23. Well, okay, he gets there in those minutes. What's his price then? 5K? I don't know, man. I will grant you that Drummond is a generational talent at rebounding, but in backup 5 minutes against a team where he's not, we got Sabonis, and I just really don't see it. There's not a Twin Towers situation on. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I will not be doing the Drummond thing today at all. I mean, if he's 30%, that's going to be 30% advantage I have on the field, I think, today. I mean, if he starts, different story. We pop him back in the pool. But for now, like 30%, I don't get it. I just don't get it. All right, so I will do 30% Vooch, where I think, yeah, the argument is still without the third of the big three. The top two get a pretty solid bump. So fine with having a bunch of those guys. On Chicago, now let's go over to the Sacramento side because I didn't implement my rule. I'll show you. I only have $200 on the table. This is my naive draft because it's the morning still. I haven't added any rules yet. So we may add some rules as we go, depending on how I feel. Like right now, it didn't. No, okay, I'm still getting to all the wings. I've been trying to let the Sabersin distribution do its work and its correlation finding do its work because that's some of the stuff I like the best out of them anyway. So whenever I do come and check and I see they're getting to enough of the Sacramento Wings for me anyway, I'm gonna just let it be. I'm not gonna go implement my rule in this case. You know, if I come back later and all these guys are gone, fine. Fox is questionable again. So Fox missed. What was he? I don't expect him to miss again, but I didn't expect him to miss last time. Yes, updated Discord server link posted in a reply recently, so you can check that out to get in the Discord if you're not, right? Because this would be on YouTube, so okay. Yeah, so questionable. I don't think we have a recent update. He just got ruled out after lock on the last slate, and I don't know how to search somebody's, I just have to scroll. So this is not good. Yeah, so Clarkson's better. Okay. Wait, what was that new? I saw Kessler news? Where was Kessler or something Kessler? Ruled out for Monday. Ho ho. So okay. Okay. Not sure. Yeah, I guess I knew that because of the Yurtseven thing. Okay. All right. Well, so pay attention to Fox News. We'll get shoot around news for Fox. That'll be pretty big. you might want to leave, like, I'm happy with leaving a fair amount of, if you wanted to, one move is to boost this last game just so you can be responsive to news, but then you get cooked if there's no news. So I think I'm happy just having like exposure 20% chance there's news, 20% chance these guys go off with shooting. So I think I'm comfortable with all the games. Oh, right. Clippers are another place where we sometimes need to, yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're getting to enough of the big three here. So here's and Zubac's criminally underprojected. Criminal 29 minutes for Zubac's. No way. No way. What in the world? I mean, yeah, okay. So he played 20 minutes in his last game, but in competitive games, 33. Okay. All right. All right. I see. I get it. I'm wrong. Let's look at this team. Milwaukee. So this is against Brook Lopez? Against, I don't know. I don't know, guys. What do we think they're going? Theis? Who's getting these minutes? Who getting the minutes? 18 minutes to Theis and then small ball? Like small ball Amir Coffee or what? Against two on the other side, maybe. Let's have a look. Who's behind Brolo is like Bobby Portis. I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess you can, yeah. I guess you small ball against Bobby Portis is fine, but like, is that optimal for the Clippers? Clippers have three bigs. I don't know. I think Clippers have three bigs because Clippers like to play bigs. They like to do jam on you with the big bigs. So I mean, I think it's fine to do if you. I mean, Theis I think is too overpriced based on that he smashed recently, right? Yeah. Also based on that Plumlee could be the guy, right? Like they're all fine. I think Theis is a little better, definitely a better matchup. How many minutes? That's right. That's not adding up at all. 18 plus 28 is only that's pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close after all. Okay. All right. I'm chilling out on my okay. It adds up to 48. That's appropriate, but we need each of them to be made smash case. So smash case for Zubac is him getting those 33 minutes, and smash case for Theis is him getting 28 minutes. So I mean, I won't actually give him 28. Let's give him 24, just so he doesn't break the entire slate that I'm building. But I think you do need some of this Zubac and Theis fork. I think that's very sharp today. So I'm gonna go add the LaC fork because nobody wants them. Nobody wants them, and I think one of them probably pretty I mean, one of them. What do you think? One of these guys winds up being optimal quarter of the time, maybe. I think it's much higher than the field is giving it at 1.5%. So at least 10%. You got to think one of these guys gets extended. They just they're good. They score a lot. Where's my LaC centers? All right. Is there a Zubats rule anymore? I think I changed it. Oh, Zubat's foul trouble still there. Okay, so Zubat's foul trouble rule will be on. It is Zubat's, Plumlee, and Theis, but only only Theis and Zubat's have any projection. All right, I gotta get going. It's almost time for school. Let me check. Anything else? Yeah, so it's mostly about this Portland guys. And if you wanted to add any, like if you wanted to do the Minnesota bigs, you could like got to double check always what Nas is at. He's a little low. But the reason I'm not going to boost Nas and do the Minnesota Big Three today is Nas gets squeezed out in a blowout. Nas is not going to play in the blowout minutes. They have Garza for that. They have other bigs. So you don't want Nas gets crossed off with the big, like the actual good players here for me. So that's what I'm doing with Nas, just making sure that's consistent and what I wanted to do. And then do I want to do big three for, yeah, this game is going to be close. And in close games, the big three for the Clippers will be extended. And so like you've got a chance for, I mean, George should be 40. George and Kawhi are equally good. Kawhi's been playing better, but like, and then Harden is like not quite as good as them when everybody's available. And that's my 10-minute alarm. Okay, I'll chill. Okay, let me charge this up too. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'll do with these big three. And I think what I'll limit them to is just like a smidge. I don't want any more than like 15% of any of these guys. The chance I think the game stays competitive and they are the guy having the game, that you have to win, 15, 10% for the guys respectively, which is going to put me way over the field on Harden, way over the field on George, and like double, triple the field on Kawhi. I think they're all fine. But this game is a close game. That's why I think you need to play the stars from the game. That's the full argument. Giannis, okay, wow. No. Giannis is a better play than all these other guys. So don't get it twisted at all. He's not in the same league at all as the other guys, so he should not be in the same league at all. It's a close game. It's a long game. He has no risk of foul trouble against Zubac or against, like, I don't know who's the 4 for the Clippers even. Like, I do not see them shutting Giannis down today, and I do see tons and tons of value. So presumably that, yeah, let's limit it to like 60%. Keyonte is incredible. He's getting great usage in this offense. He's fine to be up there with the core. There's no reason to limit Keyonte below Sexton. They're both fine. Yeah, all this makes sense. This is exactly what I expected to see. Hagans even a little low. I mean, like, they play this guy they play so much Hagans. I'm happy to be 3% or 3 times the field on Hagans. All right. I will do the rest of this later because obviously there's going to be changes. So pay attention to what I always like to do this, the number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 games, I think, on this slate. And so we got 6 games. That means there's a total of what? 12 teams, each roster, at least 10 players in the rotation, right? So 120 dudes, right? So like a 1% chance of some BS happening is high. That's one dude, right? Like that's a big thing on the slate. One dude's being sick or whatever is big. So pay attention to shoot around news. Pay attention to news before lock. Pay attention. I mean, like Anthony Edwards, is he going to have a kid today? Probably not. He just had that happen recently. But you got to be ready. You got to be paying attention and seeing what beat reporters are setting up for the game because it's not incidental and it is important. All right. So remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us.